Hardware and garden stores.
Why don't you take that from the top?
I just did.
Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores.
Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores brings you Garage Logic podcast number 965. When I am troubled by things I just don't understand. How's that for a show theme? Yeah. I'm troubled by things I don't understand. November 15th, 2022, we reached a high of 69 degrees on this day back in 1953, and it was 1 degree on 3 occasions, 1911, 1932, and 1940.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the Rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
I got a note from Joe Rothbauer down in Texas.
Hi, Joe.
He is the father of a very precocious GL listener. The kid was precocious at the age of 6 listening to GL. He's now 9. And Joe notes, "Hail the Flashlight King."
Hail you.
Not bad.
Okay.
On today's show yesterday, you were talking about the climate investment that the president promised, including many efforts in Africa. You made the statement, they don't even poop indoors in Africa. It made me chuckle, but I didn't even see the 9-year-old react. He was visiting me at work, so we were listening to the live stream. Would that mean he's a town council member?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Get to listen to the show live, huh?
Yes.
I was working and he was building a model rocket, so I figured he was too deep in thought to hear it. When his mom came to pick him up, she asked if he needed to use the restroom before they left. His response was, "They don't poop indoors in Africa." She later texted me that it is now his catchphrase.
Nice.
"Can you clean your room? Do they poop indoors in Africa? Can you share that snack with your brother? Well, as soon as they poop indoors in Africa. Can you stop doing that? Can they poop indoors in Africa?" I think it's funny, but his mom isn't happy. I told him he could use it today, and then he had to stop. He said, "I'll stop when they poop indoors in Africa." Keep pushing back. Joe and the 9-year-old in Texas. Oh, that kid is brilliant.
Nice.
You know, as a
Kid is
father
brilliant.
of a couple of boys around that same age, moms just don't get good poop humor.
No, they don't.
They really don't.
Potty talk is naughty talk, but it's
Right.
fun.
David has a wonderful question. We've never really addressed it. So let's say we get to 1.5 degrees centigrade back to a pre-industrial level.
Okay.
Then what?
All right.
Well, then we can go back to our evil ways,
Then
right?
what? Then what? And
Then it's going
finally,
to go up again some other time.
our friend Steve Conrad. You know Steve.
I love Steve.
He gave me a note, and I bet we don't get to see this game. Do you know what the weather prediction is for Buffalo on Sunday? When Buffalo apparently hosts the Cleveland. Are they still the Cleveland Browns?
Yes, sir.
Buffalo, Cleveland at Buffalo on Sunday. Massive snowstorm predicted, including maybe more than a couple of feet of snow.
Ooh.
But I bet we don't get that game in this part of the country. Cleveland at Buffalo would be an exclusively almost.
Actually, we might because the Vikings are the late game today.
Well, can I ask
Or
you something?
Sunday.
May I ask you
May I
something?
tell you asking?
Can they flex a game for weather?
Well, they would have had to do it 2 weeks ago.
Well, don't you think, though, that would be an automatic ratings bonanza to watch a game
For
being
sure.
played in a blizzard?
That's why when the Packers always lose the NFC Championship game, they always make that the late game on Sunday because they want weather. They want the
and
elements.
plus they want people to really be suffering.
Right.
Right.
I'll look. I'll see if...
In any event, apparently a horrendous storm forecast for Buffalo this Sunday. Buffalo still licking its wounds from that tremendous game against the Vikings. Jason Gay, in his column in the Wall Street Journal today, had a great line. That game was like taking your dog for a walk and your dog decided to steal a car. That makes perfect sense. That's how topsy-turvy it was and how unpredictable and confusing and wonderful. And see, you're walking your dog and the dog just decides to steal a car.
Did that post their
Sunday,
schedule?
snow. The snow could be heavy at times, high near 31, 80% chance Sunday night. Again, snow continues, heavy at times, low around 22.
Why don't they flex that to the Sunday night game?
They already flexed a different game.
Poop. I really wish they would have. Janice Borman has always run the Twin City Marathon. She's the smoking marathon runner. Mm-hmm. We have not heard from her this year. For all we know, she's still on the course.
Come on, that was how long ago? That's impossible.
But I was reading early this morning, about a guy who ran the marathon in 3.5 hours. This is in the New York Post. He's Chinese. He's 50 years old. He's known as Uncle Chen, and he marathon smokes his way through the marathon.
Come on!
Yep.
The Chinese Janice Borman?
He ran the Zing Zang Jing marathon in Jianid, running the entire 26.2 while either smoking or lighting up the next heater. Smoking might seem like it would be at odds with the long-distance running. However, the tobacco-loving grandfather reportedly managed to complete the event in 3 hours and 28 minutes and 48 seconds, which is a good marathon time, according to the Marathon Handbook. As a result, Uncle Chen placed 547th out of around 1,500 runners, as seen in a certified video posted on Weibo. Here's a picture of him here. He's lighting up as he runs.
But among smokers, I bet he finished first, huh?
Oh, I bet you're right.
In the
Kenny.
smoking division.
And how many lung darts was he able to kill?
That's
in
what I
that
want to
3
know, too.
hours?
I don't give a damn what his time was. I want to know how many darts he put
Kill
down.
a half a pack, or?
Needless to say, social media fans were impressed that he managed to finish the race while smoking and without running out of cigarettes. However, others accused him of harming other competitors with secondhand smoke.
Of course.
He also completed the 29 Xiamen marathon in 3 hours and 32 minutes, proving that not only is smoking not hindering his performance, it may actually be improving it.
Yeah.
Having been married to a marathon runner, there is no more precious crowd than the running community. So that doesn't shock me that people were complaining about it. In fact, one of the times that my wife ran Grandma's marathon up in Duluth, there was a guy that lit one up as he crossed the finish line.
Well, as a bit.
And the crowd went nuts. Yeah. It was fantastic.
Cheering for him, you mean?
What's that?
Cheering for him?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Does he get the foghorn for using the phrase running community?
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I do need a foghorn
that's
myself.
Foghornable.
But I told you moments ago that I have a number of things that I don't understand.
And that was going to be the theme of the show.
I will gladly tell you that I don't understand that, although in my day I covered a lot of really great hockey players who couldn't wait for intermission to have a heater. Mike Bossy was a tremendous hockey player for the Islanders. And
Isn't there the famous photo of Len Dawson at halftime of the Super Bowl?
yeah.
Yep.
Tim Young of the North Stars smoked. I mean, many players smoked.
Didn't he also have a Fresca? A Fresca and a cigarette?
Fresca and a heater.
Yeah.
Who,
Fresca
Dawson?
and a
Yeah,
heater.
Lenny
I
Dawson.
used to ride bicycle and smoke, and that really, really drives him crazy. That really makes him
Did
mad
he?
for
Let
some
me
reason.
ask you something. Did he just say ride bicycle?
Yes.
He left out an article, didn't he?
He did.
Yes.
You mean you
What was
rode
I
a bicycle?
What was I supposed to ride?
A
I was ri-
bicycle.
I ride bicycle.
Ride bike.
Yeah.
How is everybody? Rook, you're back from the Dominican Republic.
I am.
Yeah.
What a nice, charming country.
Did some missionary work down there, did you? Built a church,
Sort of.
fixed a roof on a
times.
hospital.
At times.
Kenny didn't even get his own
At times.
bit. Kenny didn't even get his own bit.
Well, he's married.
Yes.
Missionary work.
Yeah, you got to get her done.
Kenny,
For the children.
Kenny's the dirtiest person
For the
in the
children.
world. He's like Dirty Ernie, and he didn't even get it.
Yeah. It gets tiresome after a while.
Kenny's
you know.
Dirty Ernie, and he didn't even get it.
You know what I can't wait for? Your kids to hear this episode.
Played
Right?
a joke
they're,
on myself.
Yeah,
I know one kid's a
I
member of the
have
town
to
council.
laugh.
I don't know about
I've
the others.
outwitted myself.
Well, what a great segue into me reminding all of you that the town council members only meeting is going to take place in Tattersall.
Did you do some missionary?
Oh, my God. Wednesday, November 30th, the Garage Logic Town Council will hold its first official town council members-only meeting
Do
Wednesday.
I have to bring my gavel?
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
I think
You're
I
going to
will.
have to bring it. Here's the deal. Wednesday, November 30th from 4 to 6:30.
That'll be festive. That's the day before Thanksgiving.
Nope. It's a
The
week
gavel
after.
to me
it's a week
is
after.
the gavel is a little precious.
Well, that's
Joe.
too bad. I don't care what you think.
I would like to see you with a bigger, more manly gavel.
It's taking place at Tattersall Distillery in River Falls, Wisconsin. You can join the entire crew for complimentary appetizers beginning at 4 with a live Garage Logic podcast to follow at 5 p.m. This event is only open to town council members plus one guest.
Why are we doing the podcast so late that day?
I have a homemade wood hammer I can bring you.
Yeah,
if
why
you
don't you
want.
do that?
It's made out of a 4x4 post, fence post.
Town council members that wish to
giant
attend
handle.
should RSVP in the town council member platform at garagelogic.com. If you're not a member and you want to be a part of this exclusive meeting, not a problem. Just sign up for the town council right now at garagelogic.com and then RSVP for the event. We'll see you November 30th, the week after Thanksgiving at Tattersall in River Falls.
Okay, so non-town council members will be getting that podcast a little later than usual.
Right.
Is that correct?
Well,
We ain't doing 2 podcasts that day.
Did you remember to put in the part about bring a guest?
town council
He
members
said it.
do have the chance to bring one guest
Is there a
with them.
guest fee like at a golf course?
No.
No.
If
Plus
you're a
one
town
is free.
council member, you get to bring a guest.
Plus one. So you're going to whip out that Panda Industries gavel, that cute little thing, and I'm going to
I
pull
think
out.
you got me that.
I'm going to
think
pull
so.
out the biggest, most frightening gavel you have ever seen.
Pardon
And
me while I whip
guarantee
this
you,
out.
It
But
will
you're-
scare the men in the audience. The women will love me. It's so
But you're not a mayor. Only a mayor
Right.
can wield the gavel.
as diminutive as it may be.
You know, you talked about doing the missionary work.
Yeah.
And nothing is better while you're doing the missionary work
Oh, boy.
than burning a candle that is not boring. When you are doing the work, the hard work that you're supposed to do, whether it's in the garage, whether it's in the house, wherever you are, stop burning boring candles. Spiral light candles, they burn in a circular motion, and they have several different colors
bring one
and
with you
scents
down
to
there?
choose from. I forgot to, and that would have been the cherry on the ice cream, huh?
So to speak.
So to speak. So go to spirallightcandles.com. This was started in the garage. They have a garage smelling candle. The Cylinder Index candle smells like your garage. So for the garage logician in your life,
That'd be bad. A garage smell wouldn't be good for when you're doing
it all
missionary
depends.
work.
It all depends what you're doing. And so when you're going to go somewhere for Thanksgiving, use that as a housewarming gift. Holiday, Christmas parties, Hanukkah parties, whatever the case may be, go to spirallightcandles.com. Started in the garage. They are a Garage Logic family, and they have several choices for you to choose from. But you need to go to their website, spirallightcandles.com. This will be a great Christmas for you with all your gift giving. One-stop shopping, spirallightcandles.com. I just had to get that in because I haven't been around for a while.
We were doing
Well, neither do I.
I'm just sneaking in
Are
content
you in a
because I wasn't
hurry?
here last week.
Are you in a hurry to get out of here or something?
What the hell are we doing?
I don't know.
Take a break.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, GLers, it's Reavers here, and you've heard me talk about my relationship with Josh Arnold for quite some time now. And the reason I advocate that you give Josh a call is simple. Well, actually, it's two reasons: trust and results. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions. As he says, past results do not guarantee future returns. While that is true, Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. And you can trust Josh to make sure that you are not paying more in fees than you are selling in returns. Yes, that is more common than you would think. So do yourself a favor by booking a 48-minute free consultation that has absolutely no obligation. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. That number once again is 952-925-5608. You will be glad you did.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.
It's the end of the world as we know it, and he is fine. Joe Souchere.
Wow, we got both Heidts again.
The acoustic storm.
Will
on
Dylan
Garage
be in
Logic
town
Podcast.
November 30?
Dylan will not be in town. He'll be leaving town later this week.
That means you have to bring your guitar
Okay.
to Tattersall and play by yourself.
Really?
Excuse me. Here's Kenny with something.
Dear Kenny, your seafoam stories have been a little weak lately, so I thought I'd share mine about a 25-mile drive I made on an 80-year-old tractor that was running poorly. A couple years back, I bought a 39 Farmall, a tractor so old it still had a hand crank start. It had been parked under a lean-to for a number of years, and while it was a runner, it didn't sound great. 25 miles away from my place, I decided instead of trailering it home, I'd do a running tune-up. Are you with me so far?
I am.
My wife brought me in our truck to pick it up and haul a couple of implements included in the deal back home. She took one look at it and said, "There's no way that thing is making it 25 miles. I just smiled and said, "See it home." I proceeded to dump in whatever old gas I had laying around in a full can of Seafoam, cranked up the old Farmall, and headed out. The wife decided to follow behind, I suppose, to smugly tell you, "I told you so," when it quit. As I drove along, the tractor popped and spit here and there, but it kept going. Every mile it sounded better. By the time I hit my driveway, it was purring like an 81-year-old iron can. The Seafoam tune-up got her running back like she's supposed to. Thanks, Seafoam. You're welcome, sir. And you can pick this magic elixir up anywhere and everywhere on your way to pick up an old tractor. It's our own local company with a global reach and a wonderful, wonderful product in a world of bad gas. It's Seafoam.
I have a note from a fellow who wishes that his name not be used because he's 3 years from retirement and works in Minneapolis, which he believes could be vindictive to his retirement. And it's a long email. He's writing about the election and the failed academy, but he notes, "At the city of Minneapolis, I work in the public service building. I see almost daily equity and inclusion workshops that meet at night. They fill big rooms. Everybody sits around in a circle with everyone still wearing COVID masks. These are adults looking for acceptance, inclusion, and wanting to be accepted. They are also being re-educated that capitalism in America is bad. I think it is interesting. Signs are never put up announcing what the workshop is. It's like a secret cult. It's like aliens meeting in secret from the great 78 movie Body Snatchers. I think our great voting system is broken. While the city's tallest buildings are getting more and more populated every year, and with the education system spitting out Mysterian voters at an alarming rate, rural areas suffer. There is no balance. Our electoral college voting system can no longer balance that in presidential elections. The cities rule the country, and rural areas lose their voices with each passing year." Let me stop right there and note, this is absolutely true in Minnesota. The DFL leadership is made up entirely of the urban center, and there was no nod given to any outstate DFLers.
Nope.
The cities rule the country, and the rural areas lose their voices with each passing year. Rural areas are now held hostage to the cities. I have found myself fantasizing about moving to a red state or having a portion of America secede from the Union, but unfortunately we would never have enough votes to do this in the present system. Also, even in a red state, eventually the tallest buildings would eventually take control and outnumber rural areas. Look at election maps. Most states are red except the large cities. Oh, it's true. The map of the U.S. after an election is fascinating.
Right.
It's red except for every city.
Right. To the pinpoint.
They carry the state because of their growth. New cities popping up and growing, they become so plentiful that states are forever blue. No, states are not forever blue, but their election outcomes are. I hope my contribution makes sense. I, too, have accepted the failure and our fate. But even though we have lost, we can teach our kids to see other viewpoints. The conservative viewpoint, our value system. Let them get all the information. Teach history, and then let them decide their political viewpoints. I have done that with my 4 kids. They are well-adjusted, hard workers. They do see through the BS. They are our kids, and we owe them. We need at least to keep alive a dissenting conservative viewpoint. We need to continue to push back. We owe our children that. Always pushing back. Please do not use my name. I do not need that. And if you make a mistake and use my name, which is about a 33% chance, I can still live with that. I'm a GLer. who was not going to live in fear. No, see, I remembered. I didn't use his.
Got it.
Well, he's right on.
Well, he is. Among the things I don't understand, did anyone see the David Muir interview of Mike Pence?
I did.
Called an exclusive. He had a bit of it on the 5:30 ABC News, which was, of course, was only to tease a 9 p.m. special in which, for an hour, Muir interviewed Pence, and it was all contrived, and it's all a bit of synchronicity because Pence has a book out today. Books come out on Tuesdays, and Pence has a book out today. So Pence, conveniently enough, made himself available. And the only observation I had, I didn't watch the 9 o'clock special. I watched the news segment in which we saw Pence getting interviewed. And I just think that he might be the biggest panda bear I've ever come across in politics. He had a chance to take a stand against that psychopath, and he did not. He did not take a stand.
He did not go for the jugular, correct?
No, he did not. And you can say, well, he was being civil and charitable. No, he was being very weak, I thought. Very weak.
See, I thought for Mike Pence, he didn't do great, but he did better. He did better than he has been in the past, where he hasn't given up anything, but I think he's inching closer to just finally having this chapter go away. He didn't last night.
But there was one question he was asked where he could have shined, and that is, do you think Trump should run again? And he said, with great theatrical hesitation, biting his lip, and he said, that should be left up to the American people. Okay, fine, but you're full of BS, pal. You let me down.
It seems pretty obviously that he's afraid of the Trump base and afraid of being called a rhino.
Yeah.
And afraid of being, what happened to, what's her name in Montana?
Liz Cheney.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but at this point...
Wyoming.
Yeah.
At this point, why...
Thank you, John.
Start with the new Republicans. Don't just go with the January 6th Trumpers.
Are there new ones?
I'm hoping out of this there's going to be a different branch of the Republican Party that is making some sense and not listening to Donald Trump.
If he announces that he's running, he'll officially ruin any chance whatsoever for there to be a legitimate Republican Party. I don't see how you can have a Republican Party dedicated to the values of the people of this country when it's led by a guy who only cares about himself.
Go ahead, John.
He may help if you could, like you say, if you could get Republicans to fight back against Donald Trump.
Yes.
He could help the Republican Party if he announces, and people have the guts, like you said, Pence didn't. If Republicans would have the guts to say, well, no, we don't want the party to be this, we're going to do something else. But that,
you had your chance. You had your chance. You got your 4 years.
Well, and that's what
disarray.
That's what I was waiting for for Pence to say, and he didn't say it.
Maybe we're inching closer to that.
Oh no, that was a pathetic performance by Pence. And if he's trying to sell books, I sure as hell am not going to run out and buy his book.
I don't care what he has in that. I don't care what he has in that book.
Isn't last Tuesday proof that the Republican Party is pretty much non-existent?
Yes. Yeah, and Kerry Lake went down in flames.
I need help understanding that one.
Why?
Just the process of it. Why did it take so freaking long?
I don't know the answer. You keep asking why it takes so long to count votes in Arizona. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know if this car will make it home. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
In any event, Pence was among the things I don't understand. There's a time when you got to step forward and say, look, this guy is more trouble than he's worth. And you had your chance in again, particularly for a guy wanting to sell a book. You made me realize that might be one of the last books I want to read.
Not a lot to say.
No, he had nothing to say.
I don't think I've ever read a book by a politician.
I've read a lot of Churchill stuff, but I don't think it was written by him.
The reason I ask about Arizona is Katie Hobbs is the Secretary of State in Arizona. Is she also the one that oversaw?
Yeah, and I wouldn't
I have
argue with you
problems
if you
with
call
that.
that a conflict of
Well,
interest.
shouldn't everyone have a problem with that?
I guess. I don't know what to tell you. I find it. I just find that there's no. I'll say it this way, and I've said it many times. I don't recognize the Democratic Party from years ago, and I don't recognize the Republican Party from years ago. It's really come down to that. They're governed by the extremes on both sides, and I don't think that's going to work in the long term. And I don't know what the country's reaction will be if Trump says, I'm running again.
Because Calvin and Hobbes, she did the same thing Walz did. She didn't debate. She basically just...
Chris, are you looking for malfeasance in the county?
No, I'm just saying, I
What are
don't
you doing?
blame... Oh, sorry, what did I say?
You said Calvin and Hobbes.
Oh, my God. Whatever her name is.
Katie.
Calvin and Hobbes.
It's a cartoon, isn't it? It's a funny.
That's a cartoon.
That's a funny, isn't
It's
it?
in the
was a
funnies.
great
Funnies.
one. Yeah.
That was
It was a
fun.
classic.
Katie Hobbs.
Katie Hobbs and Carrie Lake.
I guess I just don't see how anyone... If anyone had an issue with what took place in Arizona, I can't really blame them. Mm-hmm. Can you guys?
It's not like she's counting the votes, Chris. She's not standing there.
But you don't think that that's a conflict of interest, John?
Yes, I think it's a conflict of interest.
Okay.
Yes.
I guess that's my point.
I would have no problem with saying that.
Okay.
Okay, GLers, I got all your EcoFund news. It's been clarified. You ready?
Go.
Okay. All electric bikes, $200 off right now. In November and in December. All scooters, $100 to $500 off for the winter sale, plus free heated storage if needed. These are the lowest prices at EcoFund since before COVID. They've got over 100 youth ATVs and dirt bikes in stock, ready to wrap and put under the tree. Free storage until Christmas on all youth products when you pay it up in full. Get what I mean?
Gotcha.
You pay it, you buy the present for the kid, they store it. You come out and get it for Christmas, boom, you shove it down the chimney. The Rover 4-seat 200cc EFI electric fuel injection golf cart, $1,000 off.
Woo!
$62.99. That's got an LED light bar, fold-out windshield.
Dang.
They'll store them until spring for $100.
Okay.
Because he's running out of room. He's got to get some dough here someplace.
Right.
You got full-size ATVs, the LH 300cc with 2,000-pound winch and a 48-inch steel snow blade. That's $58.99. Great for plowing any suburban 2- and 3-car wide driveways. You're going to never lift a shovel again. And 0% interest financing for 1 year on all products in stock. There's 2 stores. Forest Lake, right on 97, immediately west of 35E, and in Burnsville off the Service Road of Life near County Road 42 and 35W. It's EcoFund Motorsports. Great service, great people. Great deals now for Christmas, all through November and December. EcoFundMotorsports.com.
All right, it is that time of year. Actually, it's always that time of year. If you're looking for brand new flooring, doesn't matter what season it is, it's Redmond's Flooring and Design in Anoka. For half a century, they have been open to the public. No appointments necessary. Let them know you're a garage logician and you wanted that fresh look in the kitchen. There's so many different options. So many different options for your basement carpet, for the living room, whether you want hardwood, whether you want carpet. They have all sorts of designers that can help you with that process. That's all you have to do. You go to their website, redmans.com, REDMANNS.com. Poke around, let them know that you're a garage logician. Mike and the whole crew over there has got all sorts of products. You can get a little taste online, but going to the showroom in Anoka, you're going to see everything. The carpet, the hardwood, the vinyl, the tile, the luxury vinyl that's waterproof. It's all there. Their process, select it, imagine it, measure it, price it, then enjoy it. 5-step program that cannot lose. Redmans.com, REDMANNS.com. Pick up the phone if you have questions or you want to make an appointment. It's not necessary, but you can if you want. 763-316-3332. A Garage Logic business advertising on the Garage Logic podcast. Redmond's Flooring and Design. Get in touch with them today and let them know Rook sent you.
You cannot stop him. He'll just make a move. Joe Soucheray.
John and Dylan Heidt on the Acoustic Storm on the Garage Logic podcast. We've got another great sale in progress right now from Rich at Maple Grove Lock and Safe. It's the Veterans Day sale. It's running through November 22nd. And in honor of our veterans, MGLS is offering some special pricing on select USA safes. These are all, of course, the best safes ever made. You know that already because they're Liberty safes. Anyway, the USA 50 Iwo Jima model, limited edition, that's on sale. The regular USA 50 and the USA 30. And like always, financing and professional delivery and installation is available. Liberty safes made in the United States. They have a transferable lifetime warranty and the best built safes on the planet. Good chance you're not going to need to use that warranty. If you do, it's there for you forever. Look them up on the web, Maple Grove Lock and Safe, then stop into the showroom, 6901 East Fish Lake Road, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and 24 hours a day on the website, maplegrovelockandsafe.com. Christopher.
Joe, I have your answer. CBS locally will be carrying the Philadelphia Eagles and the Indianapolis Colts, followed by the Vikings game. They will not be carrying the Buffalo game locally.
That's a shame because could get 2 feet of snow.
So wait a minute. So we're playing the Cowboys on CBS. That means we're going to get the biased Tony Romo calling that game.
Ooh.
Yeah, but he's really good.
Yeah, he is. He's not bad.
He's the best.
He's not bad.
They're all
he's the
biased to Viking fans. Come on. Every one of those announcers.
Yeah, they all hate him.
Can you blame them?
Things I don't understand.
Speaking of that, Super 70 Sports had a great tweet about Taylor Heineke last night. I don't know if you guys saw it, but
I didn't.
Joe Buck and Troy Aikman gave a 3.5-hour back rub to Taylor Heineke, and he still bleeping sucks. That's what they said. That was pretty good.
I did see a penalty called that gave Buffalo the game, and I'm convinced Washington the game. And these refs are trying to ruin football.
Yep, they are.
Personal foul on Heineke. He took a knee. Right, with very little time left. Anybody see this?
I did.
I saw
He
that,
took a
yes.
knee, and the guys, and he got hit. But he got hit by guys who were trying not to hit him.
Right.
Trying not to hit him.
That should have been a flag that was not
Right,
thrown.
Right.
It was thrown. The flag was thrown.
The flag was thrown.
That's what
and,
I'm sorry.
and
That flag
personal
should not have
foul
been
was
thrown.
called on Washington.
On
And that gave on Philadelphia, I'm sorry, and that gave Washington the victory.
We got that nailed.
Yeah, whatever.
Wow,
Things
we
I
got
don't understand.
Three parts of that wrong, so
Well,
everything's
whatever.
right.
Are we straightened out now?
I think so.
Well, it makes everything right if 3 parts are wrong. Everything comes around.
That's right.
You just keep making a left-hand turn. Eventually, you'll get there.
Exactly.
If you just said what I just said, then you just said that's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. That's a sin rap.
Things I don't understand. We have a 19-year-old student in New Hampshire who's going to compete in the Miss New Hampshire contest. And, of course, it's the first
Oh, my God. I'm so sick of
transgender.
first.
And this moron looks like a lineman for the Bengals.
Ooh.
I'm sorry. I'm tired of this BS.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend that I think this is fine. I think it's a joke. This is a great big guy with makeup on. And these woke fools at the failed academy, they elevate this nonsense to he won some damn contest at the college that gets him into the Miss New Hampshire contest.
Yep.
And
You think he's doing it for publicity?
it's a good point.
Okay.
There's always the hope that somebody like this is doing a bit.
It's a double agent. You're a double agent going, watch what I do here. They're going to just suck
Like
right
the
into
guy in Canada, the teacher who's getting away with these giant inflatable fake cans as
Oh,
a
right,
teacher, and he
yeah.
keeps being allowed to do it because they're so afraid of being insensitive. I'm praying that the guy's doing a bit.
Okay.
And that someday he'll say, "Are you people out of your mind? Look what you just let
Look
me
what
do
I just
here."
did for 6 months.
Well, in any event, let's say this isn't a bit.
Okay.
Then you idiots at this failed academy in New Hampshire, was it the University of New Hampshire? You just put this guy. He might as well be a lineman in the NFL. Got a great big mug on him. I can't take it. I mean, I don't understand this.
There was a
I understand why you might want to be transgender. I don't understand why that means you should be named the winner. You're homelier than a mud fence.
Yeah, I don't. It's not a good look. You know, if you're going to enter a contest, you need to be look-worthy.
much like the Joe Mauer photo, the team basketball picture.
Yes.
There was a piece that had accompanied this photo saying, "Guess which one is transgender in the photo?" And it was very tough.
Like a sore thumb, huh?
Correct. Yes.
Like a sore thumb, stuck right out, so to speak. You know what
The
these
guy's
are?
name is Brian Nguyen. Nguyen. Nguyen.
What? Spell it again.
Nguyen.
Quinn.
Quinn.
Win.
Win.
Yeah.
Brian Nguyen.
Well, yeah, like win.
Nguyen.
Yeah.
And it's pathetic, is what it is.
Well,
Okay,
this is-
it's just pathetic. It's a joke.
It's another example of something you just don't really understand. Which is your theme today.
He won the Miss Greater Derry title, Derry,
Okay.
in New Hampshire, and that's set up by the Miss America organization. It welcomes contestants between 17 and 24, and they're based on their achievement, service, poise, and all that. So maybe this guy's a great achiever, and what have you. I don't know if he's got the unit cut off or not. I doubt it. I doubt it, especially if he's doing a bit. He hasn't. But no, you've just nominated a guy who could start at center or offensive tackle for the team, and he's got the.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah. You know, I don't think. Well, I don't want to be.
No, I do. The hell with it.
Pageant work might
The
not
hell
be your
with it.
forte. Pageant work, Brian.
The hell with these
might not be
people.
your forte.
Go bleep yourself. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, this is not a. Who are the former Miss
And
Derry?
why else would he have won, except that he's transgender, supposedly?
That is the only reason.
Because you didn't nominate. Did he cure cancer as a sideline project?
I doubt it.
Then I nominate him.
I'm looking up former Miss Derry contest winners, and
And then he goes on to Miss New Hampshire. Mm-hmm. Well, now you would think in a world of sanity, he would lose at the Miss
they're
New
gonna
Hampshire
say,
level.
Yeah, you know, end of the line.
Well,
End of the line
maybe
here.
he won't. Because Miss America wants to be just as woke as any other organization. So maybe they're pining for a transgender winner. Maybe they're pining for it.
Have there been any comments or anything from the other contestants?
I didn't look far enough. I'm sure there are. Plus, the printer did a really bad job on that damn thing. It cut
Tends
off.
to happen.
It cut off all the margins.
Printer really doesn't like you, does it?
But it really qualified under things I don't understand. It's absolutely ridiculous, and I don't even. Well, whatever.
Well, why should beauty contests be any different than the rest of what's going on in America? I mean, it's a big deal if you're the first to come
Especially
out
at the failed academy level.
in football or baseball or sports or politics. As long as you're the first, doesn't matter what the issues are or your brain power, as long as you're the first.
Yes, Roy?
Well, I'm at the dairynews.com newspaper, and it says 18 contestants vie for Miss Greater Derry.
Right?
Let me
Isn't
get
there a show called The Dairy Girls?
that
A
I don't know.
Netflix show called The Dairy Girls.
I'll
It's set
look-
in Ireland.
I'll look that
Supposed
up.
to be pretty good. I haven't seen it. About a bunch of girls in a Catholic grade school in Derry, Ireland.
Okay.
Anyway, what?
I'm not
look?
finding out any new information. So
But
I'm
you
gonna
see this
stop.
guy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I was trying to find out
Hard to
other,
miss him, isn't
other
it?
winners. Yeah, this is
Actually, I'm seeing the Dairy Girls, Dairy, is a bar in Green Bay.
oh.
There's a lot of
It's a
bars in Green Bay.
$20 cover charge.
There's a lot of bars in Green Bay.
One of those bars.
Is there really one called the Dairy Girls?
Remember-
Oh, you're making that up.
No touching the dancers.
Well, see, nothing.
that up.
I would not have been surprised.
Oh, yikes.
$20 cover charge. Come on in, meet the girls.
Now approaching the stage.
I do see a Twitter note from Brian here.
Yeah.
Where he says this will be his whatever
His.
nomenclature would be
His.
his last pageant. I've decided to take a break from pageants.
Oh, okay.
You mean he's been in other ones?
This was the decision I made, no matter what the result was tonight. Pageants will always be my first true love, but I know I want to grow and develop all my other loves. The day I come back to pageants will be the one when I know I have had a plethora of new knowledge and self-growth. So apparently Brian's opting out for that.
You're a he, Brian.
My name is Brian Quinn. I am 19 years old, and I'm currently a freshman at Nassau Community College majoring in business management. Wait till 3M gets a hold of you. I hope to use my degree so that I can create sustainable, ethical, and inclusive products such as clothing, cosmetics, and
I
accessories.
want my foghorn back.
My social
No, I
impact.
want it back today.
My social impact initiative is hashtag Queens Are Everywhere. It's a media movement that helps the next generation develop self-confidence, realize their potential, and become the leaders of their destiny. This is done by spotlighting members of the community that have faced adversity and teach how they overcame it. I am excited to continue to grow this project and expanding it into in-person events and appearances. That's from, it looks like an Instagram page.
Well, all right. It's a crazy world. It's crazy from top to bottom. It's crazy in every single institution you can name. So will you please do yourself and your family a favor and have your affairs put in order? It's called an estate plan. Eckberg Lammers law firm has been doing it for 70 years. They're very good at it. And if you don't think you need one, think again. We're all going to die, unfortunately, and we all have stuff. Don't let the word estate frighten you. You can have a small estate, a big estate, doesn't make any difference. You don't want it to fall into the hands of the courts. And they would decide how your family realizes your life. No, do it yourself. They all have stuff. We're all going to die. And if you don't have a plan in place, the courts will decide for you. The estate planning team at Eckberg Lammers, they not only do that, they handle a lot of family problems, transfers of property, for example. And I know for a fact that can be problematic. That needs to be handled legally and carefully, and then everybody's at peace in the family, right? Because you say, look, here's a piece of paper from Eckberg Lammers. We did this the right way.
It helps out your Thanksgiving. You know,
Exactly.
having all your affairs in order.
I knew you'd figure out a way to get food in there. The estate planning team at Eckberg Lammers can help you make sure your estate will transition smoothly, and that's what you want and that's what you need. Make an appointment with Eckberg Lammers at 651-439-2878. I don't care how old you are. Get this done. Or visit Eckberg Lammers at eckberglammers.com.
Okay, you put it off, you put it off, you put it off. Don't put it off any longer. You don't. I know it's snow, cold. Why didn't you get in touch with Kahuna Window Cleaning a long time ago? All right, I'm not going to rip you, but I do. It is the season. It's the season right now where you want to get those holiday lights up. That's right. Kahuna Window Cleaning Service. They got so much stuff going on. I've been talking to you for a while about what they do here in the with the gutters, with the windows, etc. But you know what you have to do right now? You need to do this. Get in touch with them. They will bring out, you know what? You want your lights to look good. I want my lights to look good. That's why Kahuna will be hanging my holiday lights this year. 612-888-5248. Get on their schedule right now because they're filling up. It's late mid-November. What the heck is wrong with you? What's wrong with me? 612-888-5248. Yes, we're going to get to the springtime when they will do all the other services, but right now they're focusing on hanging holiday lights professionally, but more importantly, safely. Again, 612-888-5248. Kahuna Window Cleaning and Seasonal Services. See, that's the seasonal services come in. Go to kahunawindowcleaning.com. Let them know you're a Garage Logic listener on the podcast, and they'll waive the trip charge. Get your lights done professionally with Kahuna Window Cleaning Services. Tell them that the Rook sent you.
This guy wears many hats, just not indoors. Joe Souchere.
Oh, crying cat there. I guess that'd be it, huh?
Wonderful.
I wish it wasn't, but that was
Wonderful.
fantastic.
Wonderful.
How you guys can do that, I don't understand.
Here's John Heidt in the newsroom.
Well, thank you, Joe. First, before I get to the news, let's talk about what Dr. Dan says is Stillwater's best kept secret. I'm talking, of course, about Rivertown Medical Center in Stillwater. Right now, you can call there, schedule an appointment about those cranky knees. They give you a lot of trouble. You go up and down your steps, they hurt a little bit. You might work out at the gym, they hurt. You might just get constant nagging pain if you golf, you hunt, you bike. Whatever you're doing, any of your favorite physical activity bothering you knees, you've been trying to mask that pain, maybe numb it down a little bit.
Yep.
Well, Rivertown Medical Center and Dr. Dan have a better way. They'll find the root cause of that pain in your knees, and through their regenerative care for knees, take care of the pain with no prescription drugs or invasive surgeries. For a consultation, call 651-661-4311. That includes a complete exam, x-rays, and lots more. The complete exam, usually $299, but if you schedule it through the end of this month, November, you'll get all of that for $49. Take care of that nagging knee pain with a consultation and regenerative care from the Rivertown Medical Center in Stillwater. Call 651-661-4311 by the end of November. Usually $299. It'll cost you $49 for a consultation now. Rivertown Medical Center in Stillwater. In news, before I get to news, Chris got me thinking here about this whole Secretaries of State thing. It was driving me nuts. So I've been researching. You guys probably noticed I was paying no attention to the show at all.
Right.
And
I did notice that, yeah.
We just figured it was Tuesday.
True. That's not true. Apparently, this is quite common, and I actually found a piece of National Review, which is a very conservative outlet, of course, where it's very common. And in fact, remember 4 years ago, Brian Kemp and Stacey Abrams? Brian Kemp was the Secretary of State watching over his own gubernatorial bid against Stacey Abrams. And apparently there was some complaints about that, but he stayed on in the job too. And as National Review points out, Secretary of States always oversee their own re-elections. So
What was Mattson, Rook? Was he Secretary of State? No.
He was
Auditor?
I think he was auditor. I'm going to look.
Yeah.
in Minnesota?
Comptroller. He was comptroller.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Bob
In-
Mattson was he was the auditor or the treasurer? It must have been the auditor.
No, because he auditor's a big deal.
Inspector General.
Okay, hang on.
Go ahead, John. He'll find it.
Surgeon
okay.
General.
The National Review piece also reports that Secretary of State really, they don't do much.
The
for
football
overseeing
general.
elections. Stop it, Getty.
He served one term as Minnesota State Auditor from 75 to 79 and was State Treasurer from 83 to 87.
Yeah.
There you go. In news, Plymouth police are asking for help in finding two people who are suspected of being involved in a shooting that left a boy dead Monday. According to Plymouth police, officers called to the 9700 block of 37th Place North just before 6 p.m. for a report of a shooting. When officers got there, they found a boy who had been shot inside of a vehicle. He was declared dead at the scene. His name and age have not yet been released. While police say they are looking for two people who may have been involved and left the scene, they did not immediately give a description of the two suspects or which direction they headed. Slick roads caused problems yesterday and into today, as a matter of fact, in the Twin Cities. A woman killed last night in a single car crash around 10:15 p.m. Happened on Interstate 35 ramp at Hiawatha Avenue when she lost control of her car. The car slid over a guardrail and into a bridge pillar, according to the State Patrol. She has not been identified, only as a 56-year-old woman from Minneapolis. State Patrol reported hundreds of crashes throughout the day, 322 from 6 to 11 Monday, and 244 from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday, making a statewide total of 566 crashes during typical travel times. Those numbers, by the way, only represent areas where the State Patrol has jurisdiction. It's likely many more happened on roads in individual cities.
You know what? That's inexcusable.
I know why this is.
Well, because people don't drive well.
Here's the magic number. If you drive at 40 miles an hour, you can control your vehicle even when it's slippery, slushy on those turns. It's when you're going 50 or 60 and you approach that little turn or you change lanes, that's when the car wiggles out of control. And I can guarantee if you're going 40, you're going to be fine. If you go above 40, that's the number. That's my number that I've noticed in my research and development.
What I saw yesterday were a lot of crashes at the end of ramps. That means people were leaning into the throttle too much.
Right.
And then a lot of secondary wrecks where people would come up on slowdowns and they'd be going too fast, like you'd say, and then they'd hammer the brakes, and then they'd go completely out of control and take 2-3 cars with them.
Yesterday was not a difficult
No, it should have
road
been easy.
to drive on.
Should have been easy.
Yes.
What word did you just use?
Difficult?
Wiggle room?
Wiggle room.
Hey, buddy, how about us making us a deal?
Yeah, I like her a lot. How much wiggle room we got on the price?
Wiggle room? I'll show you wiggle room. Wiggle, wiggle, whoa. Wiggle, wiggle, whoa. Wiggle, wiggle, ooh, whoa, ooh. Wiggle, wiggle, whoa.
Play the
wiggle, wiggle, ooh.
sound of the
How's
train
that?
crashing. Or
I don't understand why that's
I
funny.
entered that in because you loved that commercial.
I don't get why
15
that's
years
funny.
ago.
That's not funny.
That's the.
It's irritating
that's
at
the,
best.
What is it? The beater?
Sorry. How about this one?
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Is that Pat?
Yes. Yes, it is.
City leaders in St. Paul say,
Way to stop the show.
Yeah.
Chris, I feel I should say something bad about you now too, but I can't think of it.
Join the crowd.
City leaders in St. Paul say a boil water advisory issued Sunday afternoon for parts of the city and parts of Maplewood has been lifted. They lifted it just before 7 this morning. City officials say they worked with the Minnesota Department of Health to lift the advisory. It had been issued as a precaution. Officials said they did test the water and it showed no signs of contamination.
Man, I'd want to see somebody else take the drink before me.
Yeah.
Maybe second
And
or
what
third,
about
maybe
that?
third or fourth. Huh?
What about that poop shower you took yesterday morning?
What do
How'd that go for you?
Let's not go with that.
The state of Minnesota is set to get more than $8 million in the largest ever multi-state privacy settlement, according to the Attorney General's office. Yesterday, dozens of state attorneys generals announced a $391.5 million settlement with Google. Why? Well, because they kept tracking locations after people asked them not to. Under the terms of the settlement, 40 states will split the money. Minnesota gets about $8.2 million. The settlement also requires Google to be more transparent with consumers and provide key information to them about location tracking, collected data, and the way it's used.
Well, who gets the money?
Well, we're going to give it to the
I don't know where it
environment.
goes.
Environment, Joe. We're going to send it to the environment.
At the G20 summit in Bali, Russia has been battling to prevent diplomatic isolation as its traditional allies, China and India, started to distance themselves from the war in Ukraine, which a draft communique said had caused untold economic damage to the world. Meanwhile, bomb strikes in Kiev today. The mayor there saying at least half the city is without electricity after the attacks. The mayor there saying emergency power will be used to try and restore electricity. And I did not see this, but you guys were saying during the break, apparently Poland has been hit by a couple
That's
of Russian
the new
missiles.
headline on the Drudge Report is Russian missiles hit Poland.
Two
Was that an accident, I hope?
Two
Not
dead.
Two dead, I hope that was an accident.
Break
not
glass, smoke Luckies.
The Biden administration will remain blocked from dispersing those student loan forgivenesses to millions of borrowers, at least while litigation against its policy plays out. Yesterday, a federal appeals court ruled to continue barring the White House from moving forward with the debt relief plan. The Eighth Circuit Court of Appeals blocked the Biden administration's plan to forgive at least $10,000 in federal student loans for most borrowers nationwide, despite the Biden administration asking any order against it be limited to just 6 states. The court ruled Education Secretary Miguel Cardona's universal suspension of both loan payments and interest on student loans would harm revenues for the Missouri Higher Education Loan Authority and thus impact the state's ability to fund public higher education. Wholesale prices increased less than expected in October, adding to hopes inflation is on the wane, according to the Bureau of Labor stats this morning. The Produce Price Index, a measure of the prices that companies get for finished goods in the market, rose 0.2% for the month. Dow Jones estimates called for a 0.4% increase. On a year-over-year basis, PPI rose 8% compared to 8.4% in September. Stocks were up this morning in early trading after the report. Cryptocurrency and politics. Even before the spectacular collapse of the major cryptocurrency trading platform FTX last week, Republicans and Democrats were going to be in an awkward position regulating the industry, giving the tens of millions of dollars many lawmakers took from FTX's CEO, Sam Bankman-Fried, and his top lieutenant, Ryan Salame. But after FTX folded and with Bankman-Fried put under supervision by authorities in the Bahamas for potential fraud charges, lawmakers are in an even more uncomfortable position. Will they give the money back? Bankman-Fried personally gave more than $23 million to dozens of candidates and campaign organizations in both parties. While the vast majority of the CEO's donations were to Democrats, his lieutenant gave nearly $22 million to Republicans. Outside PACs associated with the two also spent heavily. Bankman-Fried's PAC spent over $23 million supporting Democrats. Salame's PAC spent over $12 million for Republicans. So far, some of the politicians have said they will give the money to charity. Others are not saying what.
I'm glad I didn't fall for that crypto BS.
But I'm not going to.
It's meaningless.
This guy was running a scam. That's
Right.
the difference.
Right.
There.
Was FTX what the umps had on their jerseys?
Yes.
So this corrupt
Well, this guy should be in
crypto
prison.
deal
Yeah,
was
he should be in
sponsoring
prison.
Major League Baseball.
Among a lot of things. Then they had a couple of arena sponsorships as well, didn't they, Johnny?
I think so.
The
yeah.
Miami Heat's arena, I know, was sponsored by FTX, and I think that there was another one.
Didn't you invest in one of those things?
A while ago, yes.
How come you're not retired now?
It
didn't work out for you, huh?
No, I did benefit financially from it.
Mm-hmm.
My kid did too, and he got out and made some money. His other business partner is still pretty heavy into it.
Go bankrupt.
Oh, you know what? They didn't do enough. They didn't do enough
gloss
vetting.
over that.
Yeah, they didn't vet him. They didn't vet him.
Well, no, this guy was running a scheme. That's the difference between what
they
he
didn't
was
vet him
doing
enough.
and then what Rick.
Don't you consider crypto a scheme?
Not entirely, no.
Oh, okay, Chris.
I'm outraged by something I know absolutely nothing about.
I am.
Well, that's,
What
isn't
if
that
that's
normal?
my
my
job?
job.
We wouldn't have a show. For
Yeah,
That's true. That's a good point.
It's been the whole show so far.
former,
That's what I do.
Former President Trump expected to announce tonight he's running for president in 2024, marking his third bid for the White House. By the way, I did check, Joe. It doesn't look like the major networks are carrying it, but obviously all the news channels are CNN, Fox.
What time is this
Newsmax.
cycle going on?
It's 8 p.m. Central. is
8
what I
p.m.
saw.
Central.
Although I thought I saw last week 7 p.m. Maybe they changed it, or maybe one of them is wrong that I read this morning. The announcement comes as he's been hinting at it for months. It would come as the former president faces some criminal and civil investigations, and as the Republican Party, his party, is grappling with a worse than expected showing in the midterm elections. A lot of Trump-endorsed candidates did not do well, raising questions about his hold over the GOP. Speaking of Trump-backed candidates who didn't win in that closely watched election in Arizona, Democrat Katie Hobbs elected Arizona governor. It was announced yesterday, defeating an ally of Trump who falsely claimed the 2020 election was rigged and refused to say she'd accept the result of her race this year. That would be former television news anchor Carrie Lake. Lake tweeted after the call yesterday, "Arizonans, no BS when they see it."
Play that clip, please, if you can find it, if it's ready.
Wiggle, wiggle?
No, of Trump saying I should get all the credit if they win, but I don't want any credit if I'll get no whatever. Because I have a comment to make on that maybe would help make my point.
Give me a second here.
Because a sane person would say that as a joke. Unfortunately, he means every word of it,
Right.
and which is a further indication that his thinking process is a bit disturbed.
All right.
Maybe you haven't heard this
A
quote.
bit.
Yeah.
Here you go, sir. Coming to you in 3, 2, 1.
Well, I think if they win, I should get all the credit, and if they lose, I should not be blamed at all, okay? But it'll probably be just the opposite.
See, a sane person would not say that. A sane
Yes.
person would realize the irony of that.
A sane person would say that and then go,
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
how that,
yeah.
what am I going to do? What am I going to
Yeah.
tell you? You know, but there's no humor in it.
No.
So we're not sure. It seemed like that was a joke to me.
No, he's not
No,
capable
that's-
of a joke. He's
that
never told a
wasn't a
joke in his life.
Red paint.
Yeah.
You can't tell
He'd
that.
have to write that
Right.
down.
It's the best quality red paint ever. It's the best red paint.
Concert announcement. Pink will play her largest local show to date when she headlines Target
What are you in
Field
for?
on
What are you in
August
for?
10th.
Royce will go. He likes pink.
He likes pink.
I like Pink.
Got a
She's
little
got a
edge
good
on her,
voice. Yeah.
Tickets at prices to be announced
I
go
like
on
going
sale
to Taylor Swift.
10 a.m. November 21st through Ticketmaster. Newly crowned Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo are also on the bill. They open. Well, they don't open, but they're the act right before Pink. And they'll also be with Group Love and Kid Cut Up. Unfortunately, Brandy Carlisle's been named on some of the shows to open, but she will not be.
Oh, boo hiss.
That was my reaction.
I would
It's
go
not
if
that
she
big a
was
deal,
going to be
but
opening up
Is
for
this
them.
an outdoor
Are
event?
you mad about her?
Target
I love
Field.
Brandy Carlisle.
Target Field? Is
Yeah,
Pink the
Target
one that
Field.
gets on the trapeze and all that
Oh,
stuff?
yeah. I'll say.
Yeah.
Who is she married
Is
to?
that the Go-Go?
Red.
What's her name?
No, she was married to the
Carrie Hart.
X Games
Hart.
guy.
Carrie
Whatever.
Hart.
Who was the lead singer of the Go-Go's?
Belinda
Belinda
Carlisle.
Belinda
Carlisle.
Carlisle. Okay.
Yeah.
What is your favorite?
Why did I know that?
I don't know. That's pretty good. I'm testing you. What is your favorite Kid Hack song? What is that guy's name, Johnny?
Kid Cutted.
Never heard
Kid
of
Cut It? What's
Kid
your
Cudi?
favorite? Kid
Kid
Cudi?
Cudi or Kid Cut Up?
Kid Cut Up. Yeah. What's your favorite
Never
Kid
Kid
Cut
heard
Up.
of
I'm not familiar with Group Love and Kid Cut Up.
Got
Sorry.
it.
They'll be opening though.
It's Pink. I wouldn't go across the street.
She's
to
got a
see
good
Pink.
voice.
Yeah.
And she's got an attitude.
Okay, good.
You know-
I'll see you there.
Yeah. Yeah.
One other entertainment note: Yellowstone continues to dominate television with its new season just starting.
What is that?
This is
Bonanza with cell phones?
no, it's it's almost like a it's a fun. You really don't.
They
follow
got
much
Chinese
TV.
cook?
Hey, Little John, or Little Joe, or whatever the hell your
Little
name
Joe.
is.
Little
Pa
Joe.
Ingalls.
Hop Sing was the cook.
Yeah, they got a Hop Sing on there and a big
There's
fat
no-
brother.
there's-
What's his
There's
name?
no Hop
Haas.
Sing and no
Haas.
Haas.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty good. I like it
Yeah.
a lot.
It's
Season
Bonanza
1, 2,
with a
3
with cell
were
phones.
excellent. No, it's set in current days.
Daddy
Joe.
running off to the
Joe, it's-
whorehouse once or twice a week.
Yeah.
It's not a cowboy show.
I'll
but
be
it
back
is-
tomorrow,
They wear
boys.
hats and the whole
It's,
deal.
it's set in current times.
Johnny, isn't Costner making a another like a what would you call it, a spinoff?
Well, it's not Costner's show.
Oh, it's not.
The fellow who writes this, Taylor Sheridan, already has done another show. We've talked about it. The one that was horribly depressing, the 1883 show. Really well done, but horribly depressing. And now
I
a new
tried
one
that
with
one, but-
Harrison Ford and your gal, Joe, is in the other new one, 1929, I believe is the
Who's
name
my
of it.
gal?
The British actress that you like.
Margot
she's-
Kidder.
No, the older one. You know.
Oh,
she's
Helen
now-
Hunt?
Judi Dench.
No,
No, British. British.
No, I know who you mean. I just can't think of her name.
Helen with the bosoms.
Yeah. Helen somebody.
That's her last name.
Mirren.
Helen
Mirren.
Mirren.
Yeah, with the
naughty.
magical
and-
bosoms.
Helen Mirren
And
is
Harrison
naughty.
Ford will be
She
in that, so
was.
he'll have 3 shows on at once.
Well, she's still dirty.
Are they all prequels to Yellowstone?
They're all prequels to Yellowstone. That is correct. 1883 set up how the family actually got to the Montana Yellowstone area.
Yeah.
Horribly depressing. A lot of death at the end of
Well, so
stars
what?
of people you like in
Yeah.
the show. Yeah.
And then
So there you
1929, The Crash.
That is not aired yet.
I wouldn't watch
shooting that as
Costner
we speak.
drowned in a bathtub.
Why?
Costner's wonderful.
He's
He
great on
is the
Yellowstone.
worst him and who was the jackass that ran the NRA? Chuck Heston.
Charlton Heston.
Neither one of those two can.
Silent greatest people.
These damn apes.
Get your hands off me, you damn apes!
Well, that's what it was.
Dirty damn apes. Dirty damn
I thought Roddy McDowell was very believable ape.
apes. As an ape.
Yeah.
I
gentle.
like Costner. I'm sorry, Ken.
He's a worse
I apologize
actor
if-
that has
if you're
ever
offended.
walked the earth.
Well,
Seriously.
Kenny,
Tiny
I
Tim was a
disagree.
better actor than him.
Just to prove how much people disagree with you, Kenny, this is the most watched cable series, this debut. 5th season. Usually they start going down.
I can't help it if the public is morons.
But what show?
I can't help it if the
Bonanza.
public is morons. Jesus.
Yellowstone is great.
I don't know.
I can't
I'm
help
just not
it.
into it today.
Doesn't he have the whoring daughter
Yeah.
Whom?
in
Yes.
Yellowstone?
Yeah, she's a
She's
handful.
feisty.
She's a
feisty.
handful.
she's
You know what?
feisty as hell.
She's a
yeah.
handful.
Yeah,
That's a great character. Yeah.
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 That's Bonanza with modern
It's
clothing and technology.
Mountain Dew drinking
Yep.
bonanza.
Yep.
Again, as Chris said, a man talking about nothing he knows nothing about because he's probably never watched an episode.
I've seen bits and pieces.
You know, the
Bits
two
and pieces,
brothers.
yeah.
There's two brothers that are bad guys, land developer kind of guys, and where I am right now in this series, it's about to go down. Yeah. So
Little
Where you
Joe.
at in this series?
Hoss
Hoss.
and Little Joe. Yeah.
Yep.
And then Doc Baker.
Sometimes
Chester
I
in there
wonder-
with a wooden leg.
What about
wonder
Ma
why.
Olson, Ma and Pa
Harriet.
Olson?
Harriet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
and
didn't understand that pairing.
daughter
Let's,
Nellie.
You guys sound like idiots. So
Never
let's move
understood
right
that
along here,
pairing.
shall we? Get other news. How you doing,
Are there
Chris?
horses in Yellowstone? Do they have horses?
Yeah, they
Well,
ride.
of course they do.
They
It's
ride
on
horses.
Barbara
I rest
Eden.
my case. It's
is
Bonanza.
Barbara Eden, I Dream of Jeannie in this movie?
She's the grandma.
Bonanza is the first show I saw in color.
Is this
Really?
show in color or what? Something wrong with the set?
Do you think horses get songs stuck in their
I
heads?
think they do.
In the show Yellowstone, they do ride horse.
Well, that's just Bonanza. I mean, that's
There's
just
a-
modern
Most of them
times.
ride horse.
There's a character named Rip in Yellowstone who's a great character.
Yeah.
Now, where's Big Valley
Rip
figure
is
into
good.
this? Because Stanwyck
Big Valley.
was in that one.
So, is this like Dallas, maybe? Dallas?
It's not quite
Only
as
no
soapy,
oil,
no.
it's cows?
It's soapy. It's definitely soapy.
More like
Not
Knott's
as bad.
Landing.
Yeah.
No, not
Yeah.
at all.
Knott's Landing.
Remember Knott's
Page.
Landing?
Page. Greg
Yeah.
Sumner. Yeah.
I know how
Naked
much Joe
Croquet.
hate- I know how much Joe hates
Wasn't
this
Heather
word, so I'm just
Locklear
gonna
in one
say
of
it.
those?
You guys suck.
That was
Heather Locklear was
Hooker.
in Knott's Landing, wasn't
Like
she?
she was in, yeah,
TJ
with
Hooker.
Shatner.
With Captain
TJ
Kirk.
Hooker.
PJ Fleck was in that.
yeah. That's before he rode the boat.
Wow.
Yep.
The Love Boat.
All right, then.
And the
Let's,
Flecktones.
Let's move along, shall we?
Meryl
The most
Stubing.
From
recent,
what? Move on
Yeah,
from
yeah,
what?
exactly. Can only go up from here, huh? Most recent data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention shows over 7 in 10 U.S. adults aged 20 and older are obese. The
Oh, I thought you were going to say drunk.
problem is bigger in some states than others. West Virginia ranked the most overweight state, followed by Mississippi and Kentucky. It's based on several metrics. We're doing really well here in Minnesota. We are only the 46th most obese
Oh,
out of
that's
the
a
51.
poor showing. That's terrible.
What's the
Neighbors-
thinnest state? Hawaii?
That was in the story, wasn't it?
I don't
No,
know.
I guess it wasn't. No, you're right. Jeez, I'm sorry. Boy, reporting isn't what it used to be. I don't have
No.
the thinnest state. I just looked up all our local states.
Huh.
Everything else is in the middle. North Dakota 26, Wisconsin 28, South Dakota 30th. Now I feel bad.
Wisconsin is that high up?
Yeah,
Huh.
28th. Yeah. Find people fat. in
Well, you'd
Wisconsin.
think they'd be in the top 5 at least, but whatever.
If you ever go on social media, you probably saw a video over the weekend of a Texas teacher saying some, pretty silly things about students.
That was pretty bad to watch.
I did not see this.
He has now been fired. All of this happening after the video showed him telling students his race is superior.
That's probably
said-
unwise.
Yeah, he was talking to 8th graders, mixed race. There was black kids, white kids, Hispanic kids. And he said, deep down in my heart, I'm ethnocentric, which means I think my race is the superior race. The teacher said, I think everybody thinks that. The remark appeared to be directed at 2 black students. Some students challenged the teacher, one student saying, I'm not racist. I like all kinds of people. The teacher responded saying, I didn't say I didn't like people. Another responds saying, wait, so you said you're a racist? And he again repeated, I think everybody's a racist at that level. Well, a pair of black students then told the teacher they had respected him before that, but they no longer had any respect for him. Yesterday, the school announced that the teacher, who was not named, had been fired. The principal did not immediately return a request for comment, just saying as of Monday morning, November 14th, the teacher in question is no longer employed by Pflugerville ISD, and we are actively looking for a replacement.
Thank you, John.
Yes.
The food fraud scandal is getting the overwhelming number of votes from GLers who are going on AmericanExperiment.org and voting on the Golden Turkey Awards. The Golden Turkey Awards are the awards given by the Center of American Experiment to the best waste of government money. And you can vote for food fraud or grants for self-love, strippers, and dancing in the dark. That was $6,000 grants to help Minnesota artists and culture bearers sustain their practice and stay relevant and connected to audiences. You paid for that.
See you on that.
You paid $1.3 million to the DNR for a program to get kids to go play outside. I don't want that. And you paid $20,000 to promote outrageous home remedies for COVID-19 when they were telling you don't make a move, wear a mask, and don't leave your house.
I fought it on my own.
But these are the Golden Turkey Awards. That's just a fun event that the Center of the American Experiment does every year. They're the original pushbackers in the state of Minnesota with a great website, newsletter. They have events. They bring in speakers. They publish a wonderful magazine. They're pushing back. They're the original pushbackers in the state of Minnesota. And boy, do they have their work cut out for them in this state. And right now you can go on AmericanExperiment.org and vote for your favorite Golden Turkey Award. That's American Experiment.
I don't know how you can't not vote for the food fraud.
I would vote for food fraud.
That's number one.
AmericanExperiment.org.
Well, never a better time than to introduce our new friends at Slush Buster. That's right. Garage Logic would like to welcome our new partner, Slush Buster, who was invented by Dave Pounds right here in Burnsville, Minnesota. Dave got tired of all the corrosive slush that was rusting his cars and damaging his garage floor. And the broomstick and boot that was used to remove the slush, well, that just wasn't cutting it anymore. The Slush Buster, which is designed and assembled in Rogers, Minnesota, is the only device on the market that is specially designed to remove that slush.
It's an American product.
Absolutely, Joe. It will greatly reduce the slush that damages your vehicle and the garage floor, but it's also going to reduce ice formation that can cause slips and falls that can injure you and your family. GLers, we know you take good care of your vehicles and your garage, and the Slush Buster will help with both. Invented right here in Minnesota. You can learn more at slushbuster.us. That's slushbuster.us. It's also available on Amazon. You can purchase them at the Wellna Ace Hardware in Robbinsdale, Minnesota, or any one of the 21 Frattallone's Frattallone's Hardware and Garden Stores locations. It's the slushbuster.us is the website. Please place your order and tell them that you heard about them here on the Garage Logic Podcast.
And now, a man who has never had a relationship with a tree, Joe Souchere.
When I have time to kill, I might change a light bulb.
Right.
The Heights play guitar.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sounds
That's what
pretty
we do.
good. It sounds pretty good.
Thank you.
Kenny?
I sharpen knives or clean firearms.
Or drive a truck.
Knife.
That's
Sharpen
what I
knife.
do when I have time to kill.
Ride horse.
Speaking of firearms, DK Mags, they can get you outfitted and out afield with any firearm you fancy, including muzzle loaders and supplies. Firearms deer season over in Minnesota, but we still have that muzzle loader season coming up in a couple of weeks, and I know Wisconsin's opener is coming right around the corner here, and I hear tell that the snow geese are blasting through the Dakotas right now, so there's still opportunities to take the field, and if you need ammo of any kind, even muzzleloader sabots or anything else for personal defense firearms, pop into DK Mags. They can get you outfitted and back on the road in no time. Great selection, fair prices, a fantastic, wonderful staff, And that's for both Monticello Pawn and Gun and DK Mags up on Old 8 New Brighton. Check them out. You'll see everything on the website, dkmags.com.
Only because they come to us all the way from Marloth Park in Mpumalanga, South Africa, from the Traveling Lymans at worldwidewaftage.com. It was on this day.
Joe, today is November 15th. The month is half over.
It's a very interesting this day in history.
Okay.
On this day in 1851, Montezuma was founded by Orrin Smith, a steamboat captain. The town is more recognizable today by its present name, which is what, fellas?
Stillwater.
No, but steamboat is a clue.
Steamboat Springs.
No.
Steamboat
in Minnesota.
Steamboat Hollow.
No.
Steamboat Days is in Carver,
Steamboat
Minnesota.
Willie.
No, it's not Steamboat Willie.
Red Wing.
You're getting closer.
Hastings.
Winona.
Winona.
Winona was founded as Montezuma.
Huh.
Isn't that something?
Is that where Montezuma's Revenge
Could have been.
originated?
No,
On
that
this
came
day
from
in
the
18
tacos.
in this day in 1866,
November
Pilgrim Baptist Church was formally organized. The African American congregation, granted mission status by the First Baptist Church of St. Paul, met at various residences for a number of years before constructing a church at 13th and Cedar Streets in St. Paul. Robert Hickman was ordained 11 years later and became the congregation's God Almighty, official pastor. And I find this one terribly interesting as well. On this day in 1880,
November 15th,
a fire at the St. Peter State Hospital, later renamed the St. Peter Regional Treatment Center, a mental asylum, killed between 10 and 15 inmates. The first mental institution in the state, the asylum had opened on December 6, 1866. I've got a couple of points to make about this.
Okay. Yeah, I have one.
How do you not know how many died?
Thank you. That was my question.
What do you mean killed between 10 and 15? Let's get a number here.
Plus, you're not calling it by the original name being just simply the Twitch Farm.
Okay, well, that's my second question. You know, back in 1866, when this place originally opened, we didn't really have the rules of society in place that we have today. Is that a fair statement?
Sure. No, they'd beat them with rubber hoses.
So people were acting nuts. So how nuts did you have to be
Throw them down
in
stairwells.
1866 when they figured they better open a Twitch house?
Well, Trump,
I mean, you had to be really nuts.
Yeah.
To an 1866, they said, we need a nut house. And that because people were basically goofy anyway.
You're bugging me, pal. We need to put you away somewhere.
Of course, today we're far more sensitive about these issues. And
we are.
It's
now
called
they're called ableist slur.
It's called memory care and things like that. No, that would be for Alzheimer's.
Yeah, right. It's different. That's a different deal.
All's I got are these Heimers. Mm-hmm. December 6th. Okay, thank you very much.
Well, that's a perfect segue into the email I'd like to share with you very quickly. I think you guys would enjoy this one. It comes to us from Brian. I don't believe Brian is a Garage Logic Town Council member.
Well, he should be.
Well, you be the judge of this based on the email. Subject line, what's your problem? ?
Oh, here we go. Uh-oh. Oh, boy.
Why do you keep slandering Herschel Walker? He is a good man, a conservative. He's pro-life, pro-America, pro-family, pro-Second Amendment, pro-police, pro-law and order, pro-strong borders, pro-Constitution, pro-fiscal responsibility. He's anti-woke, anti-BLM, anti-whites are racist, anti-defund the police, anti-open borders, anti-school indoctrination, anti-trans teaching to children, anti-men's in women's locker rooms, anti-men in sports. Sounds pretty sane to me. If you don't believe me, listen to Ted Cruz's interview with him on his Verdict podcast. Unless you can back it up with facts, after all, you claim to be fact-based. Stop saying he's stupid or brain damaged. I expect better of the mayor. He's a good man and deserves better. So, put up or shut up.
Wow. I don't know where to begin. Number one, Herschel didn't come up today.
Right. Or recently.
Number two, For a pro-life guy, he's been involved in a lot of controversies.
Well, can I steal Bill Maher's great line about his opening rant about Herschel Walker?
He's visibly stupid?
No, he's pro-family, just not his.
Right.
If you haven't seen Bill Maher's rant on Herschel Walker, it's spectacular.
I don't watch Bill Maher.
He's pretty good.
You know, my fear about Herschel is that he played NFL football. He's probably got CTE.
All right, I'm going to respond to Brian's email on behalf of all of us with noted.
Noted.
But we've had other pro football players serve in office, right? Jack Kemp.
Sure.
Wasn't Steve Largent a politician for a while?
Who was the Navy quarterback
was a
who
guitar
played for
player.
Dallas? Roger Staubach.
Roger Staubach,
Did he have public? Did he hold public office? Well, in any event, I think Herschel got hit on the head too often. I really do. You can't hold as many contradictory positions as he does without some sort of something happening to his noggin over the years.
A member of the Republican Party, Steve Largent served in the U.S. House of Representatives for Oklahoma's 1st Congressional District from 1994 to 2002. He was also the Republican nominee for the 2002 Oklahoma gubernatorial election.
Well, don't forget Matt Burke ran for governor this year.
Yes, but Jesus got defeated in his first fight too, with Barabbas.
Barabbas won.
Barabbas won. Matt Burke 0.
Yeah. Pilate wasn't a very good Secretary of State.
Matt, God love you. That one was a little bit over the top.
Right.
And but what do you know? Hey, Scott Jensen at least hasn't denied losing.
That's true.
I predicted no Republican in the state of Minnesota who lost was going to pull that denier trick.
That's true. Yeah.
None of them did. None of them did. And all of them lost.
And that's a salute to their character.
That's right. And don't forget, if you'd like to see more of this hijinks in person, sign up for the Garage Logic Town Council, because we're going to have our very first official Town Council members-only meeting. Wednesday, November 30th, that's the week after Thanksgiving, from 4 to 6:30 p.m. at Tattersall Distillery in River Falls, Wisconsin.
Okay, is that downtown River Falls?
I don't know of its location, but will give you the exact
spot.
spot.
It's on a Wednesday?
Wednesday evening,
Yeah,
Kenny.
Wednesday evening.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
You can join the Garage Logic crew for complimentary appetizers beginning at 4
I wonder
p.m.
what we're having.
with a Garage Logic podcast to follow at
Have
5.
a pickle here.
The event is only open to town council members and their guest, one guest per member. Members,
And the town council member does not have to pay a guest fee.
no.
Yeah.
No.
Members who wish to attend need to RSVP in the town council member platform at garagelogic.com. If you're not a member and want to be at this exclusive and official meeting, not a problem. Just sign up right now for the town council at garagelogic.com. And then don't forget to RSVP for the event. We will see you November 30th at Tattersall in River Falls.
If I'm correct, it sounds like Such and the CP are going to be playing Married Forever.
Is that right?
Man,
That is not
that
going
would
to
be
happen.
fascinating.
No,
Wouldn't that
that's
be fun?
not going to happen.
You would sit there and not say one word.
I mean,
Just like you're sitting now with your arms folded,
that's
not
it.
saying a
Not-
word.
That's not going to happen.
Can we at least
you
bring her
guys-
up on stage for a few minutes?
No.
CP, your thoughts, and let her go.
Did you guys know that Whizzer White, the Supreme Court Justice, played in the NFL? I never knew that.
I did not.
Back in the leather helmet days?
Yes, he was the highest paid player in the NFL. Running
Wasn't
back.
he was in Diamonds Forever, right?
Oh, you're thinking of Mr. White. Yeah, what was his name?
I
Mr.
don't
White.
know.
I don't know Mr. White's name.
Social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Sign up for the YouTube channel. Subscribe. We're posting some good stuff.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It's all there for you.
Ellen Page.
Oh, yeah. It is time once again to check in with our guy, Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold is on the line with us once again here in Garage Logic, and now's the time for you to do the same and pick up the phone and make that call for that free 48-minute financial consultation by dialing 952-925-5608. That number once again is 952-925-5608. You call that number and you get Josh, and you're always going to get straight talk. You're never going to get sugar-coated advice. And Josh is on the line with us once again here in Garage Logic. And boy, Josh, you didn't tell me so, but boy, did you tell me so.
I certainly did. Well, Chris, I might not be the brightest bulb on the planet. I might be having a very difficult year in terms of returns in the market, and that would mean my clients are having a difficult year in the market. And most of that difficulty has been caused by the Federal Reserve's policy of continuing to raise interest rates, short-term interest rates, and do so on a very aggressive manner, and at the same time do quantitative tightening, selling off bonds in their bond portfolio. This has raised both short-term and longer-term interest rates. Short-term from near 0 to 4%, and longer-term rates from about 2.5% or 3%, depending on the bond, to close to 4%. This has slowed the economy as the Fed is trying to engineer a soft landing to rid the economy of inflation that had numerous causes, but I happen to focus first on the price of oil rising significantly in the last year from $55 a barrel to $85 a barrel. That was before the Russians invaded Ukraine. Secondarily, on the supply chain that pushed up demand for a lot of products with limited supply, therefore raising prices. I believed well over a year ago that this would be transitory, that commodity prices would start coming down almost naturally as the supply chain slowly reopened. That has happened. I also believed a year ago that wage growth would not stop, particularly as mandated minimum wages went from $10 or $12 an hour, depending on the state, to $15 an hour. That's inflationary. And we still had huge demand for housing, whether it be apartments or houses, and not enough supply. So housing prices or equivalent rents would go up. No matter what the Fed is going to do, they want to reduce demand or have demand destruction, did not want to encourage more supply. Well, demanding supply is more of a fiscal issue, not a monetary issue. And I did say that real-time data was showing that inflation, particularly in commodities, particularly related to the supply chain, was coming down, and that started coming down in May and June. The Fed said, nope, we got to keep raising interest rates because we haven't seen it in the data. Well, the real-time data was indicating inflation was coming down, and finally the data that the Fed has been waiting for showed it last week in the CPI report, which jumped the stock market last Thursday jumped the Dow over 1,000 points. And then this morning, the producer price index showed inflation coming down in the producer prices. Lo and behold, the stock market, measured by the Dow, took a big jump again today. Bond prices also moved up, meaning yields started going down. Bond prices, and I have emphasized this all year, bond prices move inversely to interest rates. Interest rates up, bond prices coming down. And in order for bond prices to move up significantly, or at least get back to where they were at the beginning of the year, interest rates are going to have to fall significantly. And as interest rates are falling significantly, that would be a boost to growth stocks, which I tend to favor. Now, many of the companies that I tend to favor are having some issues, notably Amazon. When it reported earnings a few weeks ago, its guidance was below what analysts expected, and given the amount of money that Amazon generates with their revenue, I think it's very difficult to get double-digit growth there. Amazon also did not meet analyst expectations for growth in AWS, but they have a big backlog. Current price at $100 a share, to me, seems cheap when measured on a price-to-sales basis, not necessarily on a price-to-earnings basis. Favorite Apple? Well, they've had some supply issues dealing with demand for their high-end phones can't be met, and that's due to their, some issues related to COVID policies in China and one of their manufacturing plants. To me, that's demand delayed, not destroyed. I still like Apple, but with interest rates coming down, some of the faster growing companies are starting to move up, and in particular, some of the semiconductor names, which have been really hurt as demand seems to have fallen off, have taken a nice jump over the past few weeks. Maybe that demand is not disappearing. Semiconductors are still needed in just about everything. They got another boost last night when Berkshire Hathaway released its 13F filing, or with what they had been buying or selling in the last quarter, showing a big accumulation of Taiwan Semiconductor. That gave that a nice boost. In terms of retail names, which are reporting this week, with Walmart and Home Depot reporting today, both beat the street. Walmart did guide up. Their same-store sales were up, and they initiated a $20 billion share buyback. That stock is up $10 a share. Home Depot reported they beat but only affirmed guidance. That got mixed reviews. This week, we still have Target, Costco, TJ Maxx, Whole Stores, which I would avoid, also to report, plus Cisco and NVIDIA, another major semi name. We'll talk more about them later this week.
Excellent report, Mr. Money Talk. You heard him, GLers. Now's the time for you to pick up the phone and make the call for that free 48-minute financial consultation by dialing 952-925-5608, where you're always going to get straight talk. You're never going to get sugar-coated advice. Josh, once again, thank you so much for the time and the chat. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again on Thursday.
Look forward to it. Thanks, Chris.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.